His absence was stronger than his presence. Ryan never realized it until he was gone, far away on a business trip. Not for a few days or a few weeks, but for a whole month. They say you never realize the worth of someone until they are gone. The same happened with Ryan. She never noticed how much she had gotten attached to him until he was no longer before her eyes. Being the elder daughter, she was infuriatingly independent. She was a strong support for her parents, a helping hand for her siblings, always looking out for others before herself. And she thought it was all normal. She was supposed to do this without complaints, without expecting anything in return until he stepped into her life. Park Jimin, her husband, he was the calm in her chaos. He made her realize that just because she could do things on her own didn't mean she had to do it alone. Taking a break or relaxing wasn't wasting time. Thinking about herself wasn't selfish. He provided her with a safe place to let loose, sit back, and lean on him. Why am I again thinking all this? She grumbled, sighing loudly and leaned against the kitchen counter. Being a professor was never easy. Back to back classes, staff meetings, and preparation for the upcoming class. The test papers that she still needed to grade only made her more exhausted than she already was. Amidst all this, the absence of certain someone only added fuel to the fire. Almost 6 months into the arranged marriage that she didn't want in the beginning, and she was missing him like he was always a part of her life. Only if Jimin were here, he would be goofing around or helping me cook or flirt with me. She chuckled as her cheeks turned warmer at this very thought. Jimin was a bundle of joy. He was the man she always dreamed of, a calm, ambitious, and goofy man, the one that could evolve with her for the better and still stay true to herself. What are you cooking? He peeked over her shoulder, whispering near her ear. Startled, she snapped her head back, eyes wide with fear, heart thudding as if it would jump out of her chest. Can you stop giving me heart attacks by showing up like a thief? It can be hazardous for you, especially when I'm holding a knife. She raised the knife high up to his face. Jimmy chuckled, raising his hand and taking a step back. I know, but I can't help it. No, I love it when you look at me with those wide, Bambi eyes. I love it when you pretend to get angry, but deep down, like it when I sneak up to you. He paused, lips twitching in a sly smirk, the one that sent a jolt through her spine. He inched closer until his warm breath ghosted over her face. Her breath hissed at the sudden closeness. She gulped, but didn't step away, nor did she dare to break the eye contact. You, I love it when you flinch like a scaredy cat. Vine blinked, processing everything for a moment before her hand shot out, grabbed the spatula, and landed it right on his arm. But that didn't do any harm to him. He laughed and dodged another hit from her. I'm not a scaredy cat, Park Jamin. Really? Says the one who is scared of dogs. He folded his arms across his chest and showed her a victorious smirk, a mischievous glint in his eyes. Vine gasped, her face contorting in disbelief. How could he say that? The audacity! Says the one who is scared of butterflies. Well, I married one. She hit me with a spatula. Now she is holding a knife in her hand and looks ready to attack me with it. I mean, can you blame me? Park Jimin, with his name said out loud from her mouth, he laughed and ran out of the kitchen. While Vian, her feet froze on the spot when she looked at him, the beaming smile on his face, his adorable laugh, mischievous eyes. How did she get so lucky? She must be God's favorite child. Having a husband like Jimin was a blessing in itself. In the era When men resort to dominance and control, she got one who knew the real meaning of being a partner. She laughed at the adorable memory until she looked around. The reality of his absence hit her like a voice, and her laugh slowly died down. I have gone mad, and Jimin is the one to be blamed. I mean, what husband goes on a business trip for so long, leaving such a beautiful wife at home alone? Am I only one affected by it? Does he not care? A month, and Wine was a gone case. The first week wasn't that bad. She was occupied with work, but as the second week rolled down, she was finding him everywhere. It was as if he had taken control of her thoughts. She found herself eagerly waiting for his calls or texts. She missed his flirty talks or silly jokes. Even if he was not there, his presence lurked around her. Be it a cup of coffee in the morning, a lovely text during lunchtime, or a sweet good night before sleeping. She remembered him at every moment. Every time it left a stupid smile on her face. She couldn't help but count the days for his return. She was missing him. No, she was dying inside to see him, to smile with him, to share things with him. Her thoughts were interrupted by the ringing of her phone. Upon seeing Jimin's name flashing on the screen, Wyan wasted a second in picking up the call. Hey, wow, that was fast. Were you waiting for my call? Me? Not at all. I just happened to have the phone in my hands when you called. She weaved a quick excuse, but Jimin knew her better. Is that so? But you used to put your phone on silent and locked it away in the bedroom after coming home. What happened with no phone at home motto? Seriously, can you stop being a detective? It's annoying. She hopped on the counter, swinging her legs lazily. No, because I love it when you are annoyed. The scrunched nose, the frown on your face, and those complaining eyes. I love it all. I bet if I were there, you would be glaring at me like an owl. Vine didn't respond. She rolled her eyes, but couldn't help the smile on her face. Even from miles away, he managed to get her heart go all frenzy. Did you just roll your eyes at me? What? How did you? Have you installed cameras here? She looked around to check if there were any cameras there. I don't need a camera to know about you. I just know it all. The way he said it had her heart skipping beats after beats. Was he even aware of his effect on her? Maybe he was. That was why he was always so smooth and precise with what he said. How? How do you know it all? She nibbled on her lower lip, her cheeks turned pink as she awaited his response. But there was silence. Jimin didn't respond right away. He took his time. However, with each passing moment in silence, Wine got more and more eager or precisely desperate to hear his response. It's a secret. Secret? What secret? She asked, her curiosity hyping with time. But Jimin wasn't giving in. Well, you see, a wise man once said, not every secret should be disclosed. Some are better kept hidden. Wine Sina leaned back against the wall. Let me guess. That wise man is none other than Park Jamin, right? Her smile widened when his laugh hit her ear. She was elated that she managed to make him laugh. You are smart, wifey. I know. This time they both laughed together. Silence fell over. None of them spoke. They just let their silence converse for a while before Jimin spoke. Ryan, I need to tell you something. The seriousness in his tone instantly made her alert. She sat straight, bracing herself for whatever he was about to tell her. Is everything alright? Yeah, I mean, no. An issue came up and I might have to extend my stay here. Ryan's heart dropped. He was supposed to return the next day. On their 6-month anniversary. She was looking forward to spending this day with him, and now this. How long? She tried her best to sound normal, but the crack in her voice gave her away. Her heart ached at the thought of staying away from him for some more time. Probably one more month or so. Her heart bursted with a feeling she couldn't quite name. Was it disappointment or anguish? Ryan, you there? She snapped out of her thoughts. Though it pained her, she tried not to make it obvious in front of Jimin. Yeah, don't worry. Focus on your work. Your presence is needed there. She heard him sigh from the other side. Maybe he was as devastated as her. But I'm missing you. I want to come back as soon as possible. Now, if you ask me honestly. She smiled, a genuine one. At least they were on the same page. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be waiting right here for your return. So finish your work quickly and come back as soon as possible. Jimin hummed and again silence fell over between them. You didn't tell me how much you are missing me. A little more than a little, a lot, or a lot more than a lot. His voice was soft but laced with teasing. She didn't reply instantly. She wanted to torment him like he did a while ago. Why not take advantage when she could have an upper hand? What if I am not missing you at all? Yeah, and I'm Beyonce. Ryan burst into laughter. His comebacks were hilarious. No, you aren't. You can't walk. Did you just question my hips? My hips don't lie, Miss Ma'am, and I'll prove it once I'm back. Just wait for me. With a smile still intact on her face, she slowly lay down on the counter. I'm waiting for you. Come back soon. I will. Take care. With that, he disconnected the call. She sighed as she stared up at the ceiling. The ache of separation tugged at her heart. She somehow managed to pass 1 month without him. How would she survive one more month? The moonlight pierced through the window and scattered across the room. Vine lay awake on her bed, tossing and turning to find a comfortable position. Exhausted, she kicked off the blanket and sat up. It's all Jimin's fault. I can't even sleep without him. Only if he hadn't made me addicted to his cuddles, I'd be sleeping soundly by now. Ryan sat on the bed, her focus on the book she was reading, while Jimin fidgeted beside her, glancing at her time and again. It seemed like he wanted to say something. Ryan, have you seen my specs? She paused and lifted her eyes from the book to him. She gave him a look that said, "You are a buffoon." Jimin leaned back slightly when her hand shot out and retrieved his specs from his hair. "Here are your specs. You are getting old, dear husband." Jimin laughed awkwardly when she handed him the glasses. He scraped his neck, mortified. Ryan shook her head at his buffoonish act and focused back on her book. A few moments passed before Jimin nudged her again. She looked up at him, eyebrows raised in question. "Are you hungry?" "We had a nice dinner, Jimin. I am full to the brim." "Oh, then water? Should I bring some water for you?" Ryan glanced at the water bottle at her bedside table and looked back at him. "I don't need anything, Jimin. Just sleep. I'm fine. I'll tell you if I need anything, okay?" Jimin nodded, but his expression said otherwise. He clearly wanted to say something but was holding himself back. This time, as Vine dropped her gaze to her book, Jimin's hand reached out and snatched it from her. "What? What's up with you, Jimin?" "What's up with me? Can't you see I'm trying to talk to you, but you are busy in this damn book? Look at me. Pay attention to me. I want your eyes on me." Vine was surprised at his sudden reaction. She was, as he put the book far away from her reach and clasped her hands in his. She was glanced at their entwined hands and then to his eyes. I want to cuddle, wife. I want you to hold me, not this book. Why do you need to read about some fictional boyfriend when you have a real husband? Read me instead. He whined, glaring at the book as if it had practically snatched his wife from him. Wine chuckled. Was he jealous of a book or of someone who didn't even exist in real life? It's not funny. I'm damn serious. I want to hold you and talk to you about absolutely nothing to everything until we fell asleep. All I have ever cuddled is a pillow or my best friend Taeyong. Do you think your husband mice race is something to be laughed about? You slept with your best friend? This was the first thing Wine uttered. Jimin looked at her in utter disbelief. He looked so done with her. It sounds so wrong when you put it that way. We shared a bed back then when we used to be roommates. Taeyong is a kind of cuddler. So yeah, but does it matter when we have seen each other naked? He slapped a hand on his mouth when he realized what he had spotted out accidentally. With his peripheral vision, he peered at Wine only to find her gawking at him with wide eyes. You sure you both were just best friends and nothing more? Jimmy snapped his head towards her, eyes wide in horror and face slowly contorting in disgust. Yo, calm your horses. We are just friends. It's just once we got drunk and ran around the house without underwears. So this is so embarrassing. He face palmed, the tip of his ear turning red in mortification. Vine pursed her lips in a thin line to control her laughter, but she couldn't hold herself back and burst into laughter. Jimin whined, rubbing his red cheeks. Stop it. It isn't funny, but embarrassing. Taeyong and I never shared it with anyone. Now only you know except us. Really? Then why did you tell me? She asked as her laughter slowly subsided, but a smile remained intact on her lips. Jimin ruffled his hair, sobering up from the embarrassment before meeting her eyes. Because you are my wife, I consider you a part of me, so I think you should know everything about me, no? Like I should know about you, because I'm a part of you too, right? Jimin looked at her with hopeful eyes. He wanted to know how much he mattered to her, if he had managed to make her feel safe, or he had to try harder. But Vine fell silent. She had no reply for it because she had never thought about it before. Jimin had become important to her, like a friend, but could they spend an entire life just being friends? Would they be able to move forward if they got too comfortable in being just friends? To be life partners, to share an intimate connection, a bond like never before, they had to let each other in. Vine looked anywhere but at Jimin while he looked at her with anticipating eyes. She feared her reply would ruin the bond they had forged so far. Instead, she lay down and smiled up at him. Let's do this. Let's cuddle. A smile slowly formed on his lips. He lay down beside her and slowly wrapped his arms around her. Vine let out a sigh as his warmth surrounded her. They looked at each other and shared a smile. Maybe this was a marriage is all about. The quiet moments of care, the small but consistent efforts, the unspoken promises. She smiled at the faint but fresh memory. Ever since that day, Jimin always looked for a chance to cuddle her. Not that she minded it, she liked it as much as he did, maybe even more than him. Getting off the bed, she walked up to the closet and looked at Jimin's shirt hanging there. Her hands brushed against the soft fabric before she grabbed his white shirt, the one she gifted him, the one he wore very often. Hugging it close, she took a sniff. It smelled like peace because it smelled like him. A shy smile twisted on her lips as she put it on. She twirled around, feeling over the moon, and fell on the bed. I didn't reply that day, but you do carry a part of me. In fact, you carry the whole of me. She blushed and buried her face in the pillow. What are you doing to me, Park Jimin? She kicked her legs in the air. Her emotions were all over the place. What Jimin was making her feel was overwhelming. She liked it. She loved it. The next morning, Vine stepped out of the bathroom. Her wet body glistened under daylight, a towel securely wrapped around her, covering less and exposing more. She glided her fingers through her hair as she stood before the vanity. A smile carved on her lips when she stared back at her reflection in the mirror. A faint memory hit her. The other morning she was getting late. She forgot to take her clothes in haste and stepped out of the washroom in just a towel. Jimin's reaction still made her laugh. He was all red, stuttering and barely holding eye contact with her. He was blushing like a new bride. He was trying to look away, but still kept glancing at her. He was so shy. She chuckled to herself and wiped her wet hair with a towel. However, her hands paused midway when she noticed Jimin's reflection just behind her. She sighed and threw the towel on the nearby couch before turning around to face him. You are here again. Do you have fun in tormenting me? You are away, miles away from me, and I have gone insane. I'm hallucinating about you. Yesterday, I imagined you brewing coffee for me in the kitchen, and when I ran towards you, you were gone. Jimin stayed glued to his spot, not responding, just smiling at her. I'm not gonna say anything. Of course you won't. You're just my dream anyway. Damn you, Park Jimin. I'm daydreaming because of you. Anyways, how am I looking? Do I look sexy, huh? Is that why you were stuttering that day? While laughter, she walked past him and opened the wardrobe. Today is our 6-month anniversary. I was looking forward to spending this day with you, but unfortunately, you aren't here. God, I hate your work. She let out an irritated sigh and looked at Chaman, who was quietly observing her. What should I wear? Something casual or fancy, or your clothes? Should I wear your clothes? She giggled to herself as she grabbed a light pink shirt, his shirt, and a pair of shorts. She ran her fingers along its soft fabric. I love your clothes. They are so comfy and smell like you. They are the only thing keeping me company while you are away. She walked up to the bed and placed the clothes there. Jimin's eyes silently followed her movements. Wine could feel his gaze, but she didn't mind it because it was just a hallucination, right? Right? She untied the towel around her. Jimin closed his eyes as the towel loosened up and pulled around her feet. She put on the clothes and stood in front of the mirror. Ain't I looking good in your clothes? What say, dear husband? Jimin slowly opened his eyes, and the sight before him made him breathless. He couldn't take his eyes off her. She was looking stunning. Perfect, he whispered under his breath, which went unheard by her. You know, she began, facing him again. He stared at her without blinking as she walked towards him with slow steps. You are a good husband, but you are lacking somewhere. Jimin's smile slowly subsided, hearing her. Lacking? Was she not happy with him? I appreciate that you want to make me feel comfortable, but husband, you don't need to ask for permission every time. I'm your wife. Hug me, hold me, kiss me all you want. Do you think I would mind you sneaking kisses from me? A slow smirk formed on Jimin's lips. So, his wife wanted him to be more romantic. Noted. Tame me, claim me, I'm all yours to love after all. Her voice dropped to a mere whisper. Jimin's eyes darkened as heat cooled in the pit of his stomach. He was waiting to hear it from her. I wouldn't mind it. If anything, I would love it. She was now a whisper away from his face, her warm breath coasting over his face. Now go away. Don't torment me anymore. I'm already missing my husband. She blew on his face. Jimin closed his eyes. Huh? Go! My husband is not going to be back for another month. Come back again when I miss him so much. She lifted her finger and slowly brought it closer to his nose. But she froze when her finger met his nose tip. He was not dust and air this time. He was standing before her in his life form. You? Go where, wife? He opened his eyes and his gaze met hers. Her eyes visibly whitened, a gasp escaping her lips. She let out an ear-piercing scream. Jimin had to cover his ears. Gosh, woman, you are making my ears bleed. You are real? You are really here? She asked, still not believing her eyes. Well, yeah, you weren't daydreaming this time. You pervert. She hit his shoulder and then his chest. He stepped back as she kept hitting him, first with her hands, then with pillows. You are so bad, I hate you. Hey, listen to me. You shameless. You watched me while I was changing. Oh, how could you? She threw small punches at his chest, but Jimin grabbed her hands and yanked her closer. She collided with his chest, her eyes locked with his. I closed my eyes. I didn't see anything. I swear I don't know you are wearing red underneath. He jutted his chin towards her shirt, his eyes glinting with mischief. This is so embarrassing. She groaned under her breath and banged her head against his chest. He chuckled and held her close. God knows what nonsense I spurted out, thinking you. She trailed off and closed her eyes in embarrassment. Why couldn't she control her tongue? Thinking I was your imagination, right? Shut up, I'm already drowning in shame. But wait. She raised her head and met his gaze. You were supposed to return after a month, right? Then how? I thought I'd surprise you, but I must say, you beat me to it. Tame me, claim me, I'm yours to love after all. He mimicked her, speaking the same way she said it. Go away. She pushed him away and tried to escape him, but he was quick to grab her arm and pulled her to him again. He walked forward, holding her in his arms until the back of her knees touched the edge of the bed, and they both fell on the bed. Vine closed her eyes as her hair fell on her face. With a smooth touch, Jimin tucked her hair behind her ear. He leaned down and pressed his lips to her cheek. His lips lingered there for a moment longer before he pulled away. Vine's eyes fluttered open and locked with his. His eyes weren't sparkling with mischief. Instead, they held a depth. They were filled with something exceptionally divine, something which could only be felt and couldn't be named. I missed you a lot. This 1 month made me realize just how much you mean to me. In case I never said it before, you complete me, wifey. You're a part of me that is irreplaceable, the part that only you can fill, or else there will be a huge void. The way he said it, with utter honesty and sincerity, hit a spot in her heart that nobody could ever touch before. I missed you too. You have spoiled me, dear husband. I always thought I could handle everything all alone. I don't need anyone, but after you, I don't even like the coffee I make. You don't know just how much these small gestures mean to me. You have no idea what you made me feel. That's why, to be pampered by you, I pretend to be worn out. You bring out the trapped child inside me. A soft, sly smile curved on his lips. He rubbed the back of his hand on her cheek, his eyes quietly drinking in her features. So, 6 months in, huh? We have come a long way. It feels like we got married just yesterday. Vaya smiled, lifting her hand to his cheek, rubbing her thumb along his cheekbone. So, what's the plan? I bought a nice dress for you, and I booked a really nice place for tonight. So, a date with my wife. Blood rushed up to her cheeks, and she looked away for a moment before looking back at him. And what about the rest of the day? What are we gonna do? Apparently, my wife has a lot of complaints from me. I'm gonna spend the entire day paying extra attention to those, and I'll make sure she doesn't have any after tonight. With that, he inched closer and pressed his lips against hers. She gave in immediately, hands trailing from his cheeks to the back of his head and tangled with his hair. They didn't need the words to tell what they felt. They were living it, every fleeting moment, every passing day. The kind of connection that wasn't for the prying eyes, but only for them to feel and experience.